Hello everyone and welcome to the program Talk Sport on Global Television. I am Samuel Odi. Many thanks for joining us on today's edition of the program. Today we'll be having conversations around National Sports Festival currently still going on in Ogun State, Abeokuta, the state's capital, and gold medals are being won, and over 800 gold medals in general has been won as Bayelsa and Delta leads the pack on the medal table respectively. Still, transfer windows are opening up, and we're seeing shocking moves that are yet to be confirmed, and reasonable amount of monies being wanted to be paid for certain individuals. And also, a whole government is looking to sign and get a signature of one of Nigerians' favorite players who is yet to even get into his peak, and then doing amazing things, talking about Victor Osimhen, as Saudi Pro League and the government of Saudi Arabia are looking to make sure that they land Victor Osimhen in the Saudi Pro League, because him coming in to play in any of the team in Saudi Arabia is actually going to boost this nation's economy and also bring in more attention towards the league, based on the fact that he is going into his prime, just like what happened in Galatasaray when he was on loan there and the loan spell is coming to an end. He won the championship, became the highest goal scorer, and led the pack for Galatasaray to find their way into the Champions League. So kudos to him. Later today, Unity Cup competition will be kickstarting in London. We'll be having that conversation. We'll be having conversations around the fact that the new coach of the Brazilian national team dropped Rodri and Neymar respectively in the World Cup qualifying list. We'll have that conversation. Also, the former Manchester United manager Erik ten Hag has signed a two-season deal with Bayern Leverkusen as Xavi Alonso departed to Real Madrid to be the head coach. We'll be having all of this conversation and still talk about basketball, as Minnesota Timberwolves are down 3-1 in the NBA playoffs. That's talking about the Western Conference Finals. We'll be going on a quick break, and when we return back, we'll dive in more into the happenings in the world of sports. Stay with us. We'll be right back. All right. If you're just joining, this is Talk Sport, and we are set to get into the conversation. I'll be starting, as always, from the home front, and we'll be talking about National Sport Festival currently ongoing in Abeokuta, Ogun State, as Quadri powers Delta to 2 tennis gold medal in Abeokuta, and this is the leading story. Nigerian's female top seed Bukarat Quadri was unstoppable at the 2024. It was meant to be 2025, but it didn't happen last year. So 2024 National Sport Festival in Abeokuta, inspiring Delta State to 2 gold medals in the tennis event. This happened yesterday. The US-based tennis star clinched the women's double title after partnering with Rinke Akimbade in the final against Lovely Ozudolf and Blessing Omotayo of Edo State. Quadri and Akimbade stretched their opponents, winning 6-2, 6-2 to clinch the gold medal. The 22-year-old Quadri had won the gold medal in the women's single on Sunday, beating homegirl Yakubu Ohane of Ogun State 6-1, 6-1 in 2 sets. And in the men's double final, which was also decided on Monday, the pair of Aziz Al-Amin and Christopher Bolus of Ogun State were too powerful for David Ekpeyong and Uche Okwaroji of Bayelsa State, beating them in a thrilling 3-set game after losing the first. And the trajectory continued like that as they became winners and also clinched gold medals respectively. That's for the female side and for the male side. So Bayelsa took it, taken from the male side, and also Delta taking it all for the women's side. So like I rightly mentioned earlier before now, that the future of table tennis, the track and field, is actually looking very, very healthy. I'm certain most of you were wondering, Quadri, yes, we know Quadri was just lost his, Haruna Quadri now lost his competition, in Doha, but now we have another Quadri who is making us proud and who is doing it well, and it shows that the future of table tennis and the track and field is looking very, very healthy for both the female and the male side. Talking about track and field, let's move on, and still talking National Sports Festival. Okon George smashes 400 meters record. Ojili sets new PB. East Nigerian quarter miler Patience Okon George of River State smashed the women's 400 record at the National Sport Festival. Still, all of this happened yesterday, running at a time of 51.60 seconds to win the women's title at the Gateway Games, while Emmanuel Ojili ran a new personal best of 45.58 seconds to win the men's title. Okon George, who was clear favorite to win the title, finished well ahead of the rest of the field and shattered the festival record of 51.76 seconds, which was set by Imabong Nis Uko in Edo State. This happened 5 years ago. Happy Rashidat of River State snatched second place, while Lagos State Miracle Uwem finished third. In the males final, the field was stacked with in-form star, but Ojili, representing River State, came through for the gold medal in a new PB of 45.58 seconds, setting a world record. The sport festival is his first competitive race of the year and the making of champions product, and seemingly been conserving his energy for the finals, doing the bare minimum to qualify from the heat and the semi-finals. On the other hand, still talking athletics and track field, Toby Amoson also set a new world record of 12.12 seconds. Still, all of this happened yesterday. So she is in preparation for her Yemen and September World Championship that will be coming up in China and Japan, respectively, later this year. So she's getting herself ready. That's talking about Toby Amoson, has been getting herself ready. And again, this preparation and also setting and breaking the record last year, 2 years ago, she set a new record, but last year in the Paris Olympics, she wasn't able to, advance into the finals of the competition as she finished 4th position. And then there was no record being broken nor set by Toby Amoson as at last year in the Paris Olympics. So this year, she came back with firepower, putting her head up high, and then again she has gotten back to her winning ways as she is set and she is breaking and setting records, just like what we're seeing for the future lads and the young lads coming up from the local scene, setting off records again and winning gold medals in grand style. So this shows that all individuals are actually qualifying. Paris Olympics is around the corner and it will be coming up soon. So all of this shows the preparation and what Shehu Diko is saying. That's talking about the Commissioner of Sports, Alhaji Shehu Diko. As he says, grassroots development of sport is very, very key for Nigeria. And with all of this preparation we are seeing, and he says in his words, is in line with the renewed hope agenda. And seeing all of this now, all of these feats, and looking at the young individuals, young talents, young Nigerians setting records and breaking them year after year is something very welcoming, and it shows the future is actually looking very, very bright for Nigerian sporting activities. So moving on and still talking National Sport Festival, Ogun dominates ball games, cruising into 6th finals. In just this competition, it shows that they are not just hosting states, they are not just hosting the country, the Federal Republic of Nigeria, but they are ready to make a mark for themselves. Host Ogun State has maintained its grip on the ball game at the ongoing National Sport Festival, booking their place in final of 6 events. This happened still yesterday evening, having already set a date with Kwara in the men's football final, which will take place at the MKO Abiola Sporting Complex later today. Team Ogun are all set to play in the men's and women's basketball, volleyball, and handball finals. Team Ogun reigned supreme in various semi-final clashes at Alaka Sports Complex on Monday as they hope to increase their haul on the medal table. In the women's basketball semifinals, they sailed into the final with a narrow 1 point win over Lagos, beating them 45 to 44 points. Lagos led for the most part of the game, but Team Ogun State came back and was completed at the death of Minnesola Tobade, who shot a three-pointer to clinch the final ticket, where they were faced by Elsa State, who beat Ondo State 62-28. Their main counterparts are also eased into the final in the afternoon, beating Adamawa 71-66. At the volleyball court, Ogun State's women team eased and passed their counterparts from Kogi 3-0 in the first semifinal, beating them 25-8, 25-23 and 25-19 to set up another date against River State in the finals of the volleyball competition. So Ogun State are very, very ready and hungry for, more medals, given the fact that they are number 4th on the medal table as we speak. So now they are looking to, win all of these finals, 6 of it, and see how they can advance more on the medal table and maybe get into the 3rd or 4th position on the medal standing. So it shows how hungry these individuals are, and we are seeing results coming out and then shooting the three-pointer. You all know I have a thing for basketball, and I'm going to hammer more on that. Looking at it now, each point matters, each free throws matters, each 2 points you score matters so much. And again, the decisive, game winner coming from Bola herself was very, very crucial for her team. And another thing was that the gameplay was drawn up for her to circle, run from the backcourt and coming out to the three-point line, getting the ball from the mid-range and then taking the shots far away from the three-point line. It's just what Stephen Curry always does in the NBA, and she was Stephen Curry for the night, and she was Stephen Curry for Ogun State. She became the hero of the night for them by winning, by just a point. So every point matters when it comes to basketball, and every second, again, matters. And then she got this shot off in 3 seconds, one bounce, and again, she laced it. That's just what it is. Every second matters. And then she laced it, and her team was victorious for the evening. So it's just very interesting. And congratulations to them. We'll say more congratulations if they get to win these finals. And moving away, we'll be talking Unity Cup, but we'll be going on another quick break. And when we return back, Super Eagles are set to defend their trophy, their Unity Cup trophy that they won far back over 2 decades ago in the year 2004 in London. We'll be having this conversation and more immediately after this break. Stay with us. Yes, many thanks for staying with us, and let's get into the conversation. Surprisingly, Eric Chelle dropped Ademola Lookman and Victor Osimhen from the squad. We are going to find out why all of that happened. But before then, let me bring you up to speed with the story. Unity Cup is here and is kickstarting later today, 4 p.m. Nigerian time, as Nigeria aim to defend her trophy against Ghana, Jamaica, Trinidad, and Tobago. Yes, this is set to kickstart today. The stage is all set for the 2025 Unity Cup taking place in London as Nigeria aims to defend her trophy, the trophy they won in the past. That's talking about over 2 decades ago. Nigeria, Ghana, Jamaica, and Trinidad and Tobago will take the center stage from today to Saturday, May the 31st at the Ghent Community Stadium as the Unity Cup returns for the first time since 2004. The stage is all set for the 2025 Unity Cup taking place in London as Nigeria are all set. So looking at all of this now and looking at how interesting the competition will be, Nigerians are not, new. They are going to be facing familiar foes in the matchup, but still, a new introduction was made. Like 10 home-based players were introduced to the squad by Eric Chell, and also some notable Nigerians were dropped. Notable Nigerians that are doing excellently well with their current club and that are actually winning golden boots and leading the pack for their team to advance into Champions League and other competitions that will be coming in the 2025 and 2026 season that will be kickstarting later in the year around August and September respectively. While Nigeria will tackle Ghana on Wednesday night, the first match will be played between Jamaica and Trinidad later today, and also Nigerian match will kickstart tomorrow, while they'll be taking on Ghana on Wednesday night. The winner of both features will clash in the final on Saturday, while the losing team will battle for third place. Nigeria are the current holders of the Unity Cup, as they won the last edition, beating the Republic of Ireland 3-0 in the final 21 years ago. The Super Eagles may start this year's Unity Cup as favorite given their FIFA ranking and the recent performance, but the form of Eric Chille's side doesn't matter when playing their West African rivals, which is Ghana. There's always been a battle between Ghana. It's either jollof battle or music battle. If you're talking music battle, we see Shatta Wale and Sarkodie battling Wizkid, Burna Boy, Davido, Omale, and the rest. South Africans still having conversations around rivalries. So all of this, there's always a rivalry whenever Nigerians are mentioned. So Nigeria are not just playing, but they'll be playing a team that they are used to. And it's notable that some key players and key individuals were dropped from the squad of the Super Eagles, which doesn't seem to be a problem because other hungry individuals, hungry Nigerians got call-ups. They did amazingly well in the Nigerian Professional Football League. Few players from Remo Stars, the current champions of Nigerian Professional Football League, were introduced. And looking at this now, around 10 of them, and then there's a mixture. Eric Chell made a mention of he's trying to scout out more players that would be able to perform in the World Cup qualifiers that will be coming up later in the month of June and July respectively. Because, and again, from what we're seeing now, we want the likes of Osimhen and Ademola Lookman and the other squad that were dropped to get proper time to rest based on the fact that they had series of busy schedules and most of them are not even back to the country and they are still with their team celebrating and all of that. So looking at all of those angles now, more players were introduced based on the fact that the home-based games and then the home-based players were open based on the fact that over a week ago, Remo Stars were current champions and they had done their parade, and then a few players from each teams, Eyimba, Remo Stars, Enugu Rangers were introduced into the squad. And then we'll see how well it will pan out for these individuals based on the fact that we're trying, Eric Chille is trying to build a squad that would, play and advance into the World Cup. So we see what you're doing there, and we just hope it pans out well. So talking about Unity Cup now, we're hoping that the Super Eagles will actually defend this championship because this is going to be a morale booster going into the next crucial qualifying games that will be coming up later in the month of June and July respectively. So we'll be seeing how, this is new trial would work out because this is a new trial actually. We'll see how it will work out, and then we hope that it turns out well for good because we have a a key goal. The Super Eagles haven't qualified for the World Cup for the past 2 seasons, so it's going to be very crucial for the Super Eagles to actually qualify and advance into the competition, not just qualifying, but advancing and, making an impact. Advancing even to the quarterfinals, even semi-finals. It's not going to be a problem if the Super Eagles win her first ever World Cup for Nigeria. So looking at this now and still talking Unity Cup 2025 party, kudos. Kudus seem now out for Ghana's squad, who will be facing the Super Eagles. Like it is, these players that are out for Ghana are also, still in their European teams based on one or two reasons, just the same way that is happening for the Super Eagles. Let me bring you up to speed with what Ghana Football Association has to say. Ghana Football Association has confirmed that Thomas Partey, Mohamed Kudus, Antonio Simo, and Kamaldeen Suleiman will miss the Unity Cup 2025. In a statement, the Ghana Football Association disclosed that Kudus, Suleiman, Enes Nuram, and Elisha Osod and Simeon are still recovering from minor injuries. Also sidelined with injuries are Abdul Massa and Nuruddin, Abdul Mumin, and also Tariq Lapete, Aliu Saidi, and Enes Numa, Daniel Kofi, and also Abdul Fatua Isiaku, and also Williams. All of these individuals would be absent for their team squad. And then most of the guys that will be playing in this Unity Cup competitions are actually individuals from their grassroots football, and it's looking very, very interesting because this is an opportunity for these players to make a name for themselves. This is an opportunity for them to announce themselves to the world that, yes, if those guys are not around, we can be able to do the job. And this will also help them and help the coach build a squad that would be able to go play in the World Cup. So looking at all of this now, I think it's looking very interesting. And I can't wait. I'm sitting at the edge of my seat right now to see what will be happening later today in the first game that would be played in the Unity Cup, and also very eager for tomorrow to see what would happen between the Super Eagles of Nigeria and, the three stars, or the 3 stars of Ghana. So we'll see what will be happening, and we'll see how this competition is going to be in the long run. So moving on and moving away totally from Unity Cup, let's have quick conversations around transfer windows. Now, the biggest news in the transfer world right now is the fact that the government of Saudi Arabia is looking to get Victor Osimhen's signature. Yes, Victor Osimhen is on loan currently with Napoli, and he promised Napoli, he's on loan with Galatasaray, from Napoli to Galatasaray, into the Turkish league. So when he got there in November, that's talking about the Turkish league now and Galatasaray, he promised that he's going to make sure that Galatasaray wins their Turkish league and advances into the Champions League come 2025 and 2026 season. He fulfilled his promise. Not just fulfilling his promise, he broke a record of scoring over 35 goals in a season just from the period of November till May. He became the highest goal scorer, first ever highest goal scorer, a black man to be the highest goal scorer in the league, not just the league, but also for the club Galatasaray. So our Nigerian brother is making us proud, winning the Golden Boot and also having time for fans. And the reports reaching us that Saudi Pro League Al Hilal are actually looking to get his signature, and the government of Saudi Arabia are saying they are going to do everything possible. Now, it boils down to Arsenal, Manchester United, and Chelsea, because PSG, Barcelona are all in the mix to get this man's signature. The 26-year-old is actually getting into his prime, and he's doing amazingly well. So, looking at all of this now, £70 million is actually small money for Saudi Arabia. You all know that. So now, these other teams that are not looking to want to pay his prize money, what would then happen? Now, the question still boils down to Victor Osimhen. Would he want to go to Saudi Pro League and miss out in Champions League? I don't think he would want to do that. He would definitely, that's one of the trophies he hasn't won. He has won the Serie A, he has won the Turkish League, and then now he's definitely going to improve or update his CV and play the Champions League and see if he will be able to win. Manchester United, they had nothing for them this season, finishing number 15 on the Premier League log. I think automatically they're not going to the Champions League. They're just going to remain in the EPL. So, Chelsea, my guy, Victor Osimhen, come on now, consider coming to Chelsea. You know, we are in the Champions League.